So now we'll see about our windows in case of selective repeat protocol. The windows in selective repeat protocol. So the selective repeat protocol uses two windows. Okay, uses two windows, one send window and one receive window. There are differences between the windows in this protocol and the ones in go back N protocol. So this diagram is showing send window for selective repeat protocol. This diagram is representing receive window for selective repeat protocol. 1. The maximum size of the send window is much smaller. It is 2 raised to m minus 1. The second point is receive window is the same size as send window. Then send window maximum size can be 2 raised to m minus 1. Send window maximum size can be 2 raised to m minus 1. For example, if m is equal to 4, sequence numbers go from 0 to 15. But the maximum size of the window is just 8. Which is 15 in go back N protocol. So we show the selective repeat and window as I have told. This is send window, this is receive window. Okay, receive window. Okay, the receive window in selective protocol is totally different from the one in go back N. So the receive window in selective repeat is totally different from the one in go back N. The size of the receive window is the same as the size of the send window. Maximum 2 raised to m minus 1. The receive window in selective protocol is totally different from that in go back N protocol. Okay. Go back and protocol. Size of the receive window is the same as the size of the send window, which is maximum 2 raised to m minus 1. The selective repeat protocol allows as many packets as the size of the receive window to arrive out of order and be kept until there is a set of consecutive packets to be delivered to the application layer. So is it clear? The selective repeat protocol allows as many packets as the size of the receive window to arrive out of order and be kept until there is a set of consecutive packets to be delivered to the application layer. As the sizes of the send window and receive window are the same, all the packets in the send packet can arrive out of order and be stored until they can be delivered. So in a reliable protocol, receiver never delivers packets out of order to the application layer. Slots inside the window that are shaded define packets that have arrived out of order and are waiting for the earlier transmitted packet to arrive before delivery to the application layer. So next we'll see about the this diagram is outline of selective repeat protocol. This is send window, this is receive window. Then this is, you can see, send window for send window for selective repeat protocol. Send window for selective repeat protocol. Okay, you can see packets already acknowledged 13, 14, 15, 0 first outstanding, 1, 2, 3, 4 SN, next to send 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Then outstanding packet not acknowledged, which is a colored one. Packets that cannot be sent is in this range. You can see packets that can be sent is shown here. Outstanding packets, some acknowledged. So SJSN, then S size 2 raised to m minus 1. Okay. Outstanding packet not acknowledged, packet acknowledged out of order. Then this is receive window for selective repeat protocol. So you can see RN receive window next packet expected. R size is 2 raised to m minus 1. Packets that can be received and stored for later delivery. Shaded boxes already received. Packets already received. Packets that cannot be received has been shown. Packets received out of order. This represents. Okay. Is it clear? Then R size. Is it clear? Okay. Next we'll see about timers. Okay. The selective repeat uses one timer for each outstanding packet. The corresponding packet is resent when a timer expires. In other words, go back and treats outstanding packets as a group. Selective repeat treats them individually. Most transport layer protocols that implement SR use only a single timer. We use only one timer. Next we'll see about acknowledgements. Acknowledgements. In go back N, an acknowledgement number is cumulative. It defines the sequence number of the next packet expected, confirming that all previous packets have been received safe and sound. Semantics of acknowledgement is different in SR. In SR, an acknowledgement number defines the sequence number of a single packet that is received safe and sound. So in go back N, an acknowledgement number is cumulative. It defines the sequence number of the next packet received, expected, confirming that all previous packets have been received safe and sound. Semantics of acknowledgement is different in selective repeat. In selective repeat, an acknowledgement number defines the sequence number of a single packet that is received safe and sound. No feedback for any other. Okay. Is it clear? Acknowledgement. So we'll see the problem. Assume a sender sends 6 packets, packets 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. The sender receives an acknowledgement with acknowledgement number equal to 3. What is the interpretation if the system is using GBN or SR? Solution. If the system is using GBN, it means that packets 0, 1 and 2 have been received uncorrupted and the receiver is expecting packet 3. If the system is using selective repeat, it means that packet 3 has been received uncorrupted. The acknowledgement does not say anything about other packets. Okay. Now we'll discuss about sender. So the sender in case of selective repeat protocol starts in the ready state. So we are going to see this using finite state machine for selective repeat protocol. It is same as that of this ones for GBN, but there are some differences. So we'll see for sender of the sender starts in the ready state, but after some time it can be in one of the two states, which are those means ready or blocking. So there are certain events that take place and the corresponding actions in each state. So ready state. 4 events may occur in this case. First one, if a request comes from the application layer, the sender creates a packet with a sequence number set to SN. A copy of the packet is stored and the packet is sent. If the timer is not running, the sender starts the timer. The value of SN is now incremented. Sn will become equal to Sn plus 1 modulo 2 raised to m. If the window is full, Sn will be equal to Sf plus S size modulo 2 raised to m. The sender goes to the blocking state. Second point is, if an error-free acknowledgement arrives with acknowledgement number related to the one of the outstanding packets, that packet is marked as acknowledged if the acknowledgement number equal to SF, the window slides to the right until the SF points to the first unacknowledged packet. That is, all consecutive acknowledged packets are now outside the window. If there are outstanding packets, the timer is restarted, otherwise the timer is stopped. Next, if a corrupted ACK or an error-free ACK with acknowledgement number not related to an outstanding packet arrives, it is discarded. Next point is, if a timeout occurs, the sender resends all unacknowledged packets in the window and restarts the timer. Next, blocking states. So, three events may occur in this case. One, if an error-free ACK arrives with acknowledgement number related to one of the outstanding packets, that packet is marked as acknowledged. In addition, if the acknowledgement number is equal to SF, the window slides to the right until the SF points to the first unacknowledged packet. If all consecutive acknowledged packets are now outside the window. Just a minute, sorry. So now I am discussing about blocking states. Three events may occur in this case. If an error-free acknowledgement arrives with acknowledgement number related to one of the outstanding packets, that packet is marked as acknowledged. In addition, if the acknowledgement number is equal to SF, the window is slid to the right until the SF points to the first unacknowledged packet. All consecutive acknowledged packets are now outside the window. If the window has slid, the sender moves to the ready state. Next, if a corrupted ACK or an error-free ACK with acknowledgement number not related to outstanding packet arrives, the ACK is discarded. Next, if a timeout occurs, the sender resends all unacknowledged packets in the window and restarts the timer. Next, we'll see about receiver. Okay, so this diagram is illustrating the finite state machine for SR protocol sender. So this is sender. You can see timeout. Resend all outstanding packets in window. Reset the timer. Start. A corrupted acknowledge or an acknowledgement about a non-outstanding packet are discarded. Ready. Request came from process. Make a packet. Sequence number is equal to SN. Store a copy and send the packet. Start the timer for this packet. Set SN is equal to SN plus 1. An error-free acknowledgement arrived that acknowledges one of the outstanding packet. Mark the corresponding packet. If acknowledgement is equal to SF, slide the window over all consecutive acknowledged packets. If there are outstanding packets, restart the timer, otherwise stop the timer. So this diagram is going to illustrate sender, finite state machine, window full SN SN is equal to SF plus S size, blocking timeout. Resend all outstanding packets in window. Reset the timer. A corrupted acknowledge or an acknowledgement about a non-outstanding packet are discarded. Receiver. Let's see. Okay. Next, we'll see about receiver. The receiver is always in the ready state. Three events may occur. One, if an error-free packet with sequence number in the window arrives, the packet is stored and an acknowledgement with acknowledgement number equal to sequence number is sent. In addition, if the sequence number is equal to Rn, then the packet and all previously arrived consecutive packets are delivered to the application layer and the window slides so that Rn points to the first empty slot. Second, if an error-free packet with sequence number outside the window arrives, the packet is discarded, but an acknowledgement with acknowledgement number equal to Rn is returned to the sender. This is needed to let the sender slit its window if some acknowledgements related to packets with sequence number less than Rn were lost. The third is if a corrupted packet arrives, the packet is discarded. So this figure is going to show an example in which packet 1 is lost. We show how selective repeat behaves in this case. Shows the situation. So I will talk about this example. So you can see packet 0, acknowledgement 0, packet 1 lost, packet 2, acknowledgement 2, packet 3. Okay, so what is this? You see the flow diagram. You see the diagram. I'll discuss about this diagram. At the sender, packet 0 is transmitted and acknowledged. You can see. And acknowledged. Packet 1 is lost. So packet 1 lost. Packets 2 and 3 arrive out of order and they are acknowledged. When the timer runs out, packet 1 only unacknowledged packet is resent and is acknowledged. Send window then slides. At the receiver side, we need to distinguish between the acceptance of a packet and delivery to the application layer. At the second arrival, packet 2 arrives and is stored and marked shaded slot, but it cannot be delivered because packet 1 is missing. Packet 3 arrives and is marked and stored, but still none of the packets can be delivered. When finally a copy of packet 1 arrives, only at the last arrival, packets 1, 2 and 3 be delivered to the application layer. two conditions for the delivery of packets to the application layer. First is a set of consecutive packets must have arrived. Two, the set second point is a set of consecutive packet must have been arrived first. Second, the set starts from the beginning of the window. Third, after the first arrival, there was only one packet and the first one starts from the beginning of the window. A reliable transport layer promises to deliver packets in order. Okay, in order. Next, we'll see about window sizes. Window sizes. Window sizes. Window sizes. Why the size of the send and receiver window can be at most half of 2 raised to m? We have to see now. For example, we'll choose m is equal to 2 means the size of the window is 2 raised to m by 2 or 2 raised to m minus 1 is equal to 2. Compares a window size of 2 with a window size of 3. If the size of the window is 2 and all acknowledgements are lost, the timer for packet 0 expires and packet 0 is resent. However, the window of the receiver is now expecting packet 2, not packet 0. So this duplicate packet is correctly discarded. The sequence number 0 is not in the window. When the size of the window is 3, and all acknowledgements are lost, the sender sends a duplicate of packet 0. However, this time the window of the receiver expects to receive packet 0. 0 is part of the window. So it accepts packet 0 not as a duplicate but as a packet in the next cycle. So this is clearly an error. Okay. Next, we'll see about bidirectional protocols, which is piggybacking. Okay. Bidirectional protocol piggyback. Data packets flow in only one direction and acknowledgements travel in the other direction. Data packets are normally flowing in both directions, from client to server and from server to client. Acknowledgements also need to flow in both directions. To improve the efficiency of the bidirectional protocols, a technique called piggybacking is used. When a packet is carrying data from A to B, it can also carry acknowledgement feedback about arrived packets from B. When a packet is carrying data from B to A, it can also carry acknowledgement feedback about the arrived packets from A. So the figure for, so is it clear? To improve the efficiency of bidirectional protocol, a technique called piggybacking is used. When a packet is carrying data from A to B, it can also carry acknowledgement feedback about arrived packets from B. When a packet is carrying data from B to A, it can also carry acknowledgement feedback about the arrived packets from A. So this figure shows the design of piggybacking in go-back-N. Design of piggybacking in go-back-N protocol. Design of piggybacking in go-back-N protocol. So figure is layout for go-back-N protocol implemented bidirectionally using piggybacking. Client and server each use two independent windows, send and receive. So you can see here. Design of piggybacking in go-back-N protocol. Client server acknowledgement number packet, some logical channels. SF first outstanding, SN next to send, client send window, RN next to receive, windows for communication from client to server, windows for communication from server to client, RN next to receive, SF first outstanding, SN next to send. Next we will see about transport layer protocols. So we will see about transport layer protocols. So this transport layer protocols we will see. This figure shows the position of three protocols in the TCP IP protocol suite. Okay, so next you can see SCTP, TCP, UDP, three protocols in the transport layer at these positions. Okay, so this figure. Then we'll discuss about services. Each protocol provides a different type of service and be used appropriately. UDP. UDP is an unreliable connectionless transport layer protocol used for its simplicity and efficiency in applications where error control can be provided by the application layer process. TCP. TCP is a reliable connection oriented protocol that can be used in any application where reliability is important. SCTP is a new transport layer protocol that combines the features of UDP and TCP. Next we'll see port numbers. A transport layer protocol usually has several responsibilities. One is to create a process-to-process communication. These protocols use port numbers to accomplish this. Port numbers provide end-to-end addresses at the transport layer and allow multiplexing and demultiplexing at this layer, just as IP addresses do at the network layer. So this is a table. This is a table that is going to provide the well-known ports used with UDP and TCP. So well-known ports used with UDP and TCP. First one, port 7, protocol echo, UDP, TCP, SCTP descript, echoes back a received datagram. Port number 9, discard, UDP, TCP, SCTP discards any datagram that is received. 11, users, active users. 13, daytime, returns the date and the time. 17, quote, returns a quote of the day. 19, charging, returns a string of characters. 20, FTP data. Okay, file transfer protocol. Port 21, FTP 21, file transfer protocol. Port 23, telnet, terminal network, TCP and SCTP. SMTP with port number 25 for TCP and SCTP, simple mail transfer protocol. Port number 53, DNS, domain name service, UDP, TCP, SCTP. Next, 67 port number, DHCP, dynamic host configuration for all the three ports. 69 port number, TFTP, Tribal File Transfer Protocol, AT, HTTP, TCP and SCTP Hypertext Transfer Protocol, 111 RPC, Remote Procedure Call, 123 NTP, Network Time Protocol, 161 SNMP Server, Simple Network Management Protocol, 162 SNMP Client, Simple Network Management Protocol. Okay, so in next I'll discuss about user datagram protocol. You read about this. Okay.